Hello and welcome to the feature from South Boston. Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney on your front row, starting lineups running by on your left. 25 cars lined up. We sent home a little over 10 cars, or 13 cars. Get this feature lineup set for 75 laps at this 0.4 mile short track. Green flag is out. Harvick laid back and got a big run. That really was hard on Keselowski, but really helped Harvick get through, and hard racing right away. Austin Dillon there trying to make it 3 wide. Denny Hamlin looking behind him for trying to get through. It's a 21-23 to Benedetto and Bubba Wallace stuck up there, and Daniel Suarez spinning. Caution is out. 99 up on 2 wheels, almost upside down. 48 and 22 both damaged. 37 with damage. Looks like the 48 backed in the wall, and the 99 just gets turned by Chase Elliott and collects Ryan Preece pretty hard. But yeah, Elliott just turned Suarez and off the corner there. And here, a little stack up, Custer into the back of the 8 and Alex Bowman into the outside wall. Can't hold the brake and get it stopped, and Logano piles in. Well, right along with Kyle Busch, you can see Suarez just spin off the nose of the 9 and then 48 into the wall. Suarez perhaps a little loose on his own, but definitely did not help that Elliott was quite in that gap trying to be aggressive and close that hole. Harvick brings us back to the green and gets a good jump here. Truex in second, and then we got a 3-car battle here for third. Brad Keselowski, Matt DiBenedetto trying to make something happen underneath the 2-car. Austin Dillon, no shock that the 3-car is going to run well here. We saw him run very well last week at Bowman Gray. And here he is again, consistently being quite good. Benedetto working the bottom. The 2's going to have this run off the top. It's easier to get the throttle down. And that is Ryan Blaney on pit road. We'll have to go see what happened to the 12 car. And he's got an issue. They're not putting tires on that. They are looking under the hood. There's something wrong with Blaney's car. And he was running up front. That is costly. That will be the end of his day. And caution is out. See if Blaney can get back off pit road, but it looks like a lot of damage to the right and left sides of the 1 car. He's been hit, and it looks like Elliott's behind him. We'll have to see. Similar situation. Elliott looking in a hole that's not really there, spins the 1 up the track. 48 into the left, and Busch hard into the right side door of the 1 car. Kurt Busch with heavy damage, and Buescher with damage to the nose. Riding with Elliott here. There's a little bit of a hole there, but it's not enough. When Busch closes the door to run his regular racing line, Elliott is there and spins the 1. Elliott wasting no time, being quite aggressive early, and it's cost two or three cars and one of his teammates so far, so it's interesting to watch. Kevin Harvick brings us down. Ryan Blaney is a lap down. They got whatever their problem was fixed and back out on the racetrack, but issues under the hood will put them 2 laps down. But if this race is caution heavy, he could get 1 or 2 of those back because he is fast. You know, it's not hard to imagine that he might be able to race his way up into and past Kevin Harvick and get a lap back, get a caution, and do the same thing again. It's not over for Blaney. It's only 2 laps, but it is going to be very difficult. The cost, though, is that he is holding up his teammates, the 2 and the 21, stuck behind him, and that's going to allow Denny Hamlin, Virginia native, very good at this racetrack in his younger days, close in. I will be personally shocked if Hamlin isn't extremely competitive for the win, much less a top 5, but he's got speed right now and he's driving up through the field. Gonna look to get by Brad Keselowski next, but he'll have work to do if he's gonna chase down Harvick and Truex. The 4 and the 19 are way out. Big lead, about 2 seconds back to 3rd place Brad Keselowski. Truex here riding along, not really able to hold a torch to what Harvick is doing right now, but he is there. Lap traffic will provide an opportunity. Speaking of lap traffic, here's Kurt Busch, who has just got back out on the racetrack, 3 laps down. With see, they've done some quite good repairs to that car, but they had too many issues to get out on the lead lap and stay in this race. 3 laps down with a car that hasn't shown speed all week. That is likely the end of their show, but they are here, they scored some points, so it's not the end of the world. Bubba Wallace, Austin Dillon racing for 6th here. Dillon has the top side, trying to make something happen here, and the top, like I said, gets runs down the straightaway. Easier to get the throttle down. You can pinch the guy on the bottom down. You can see forcing Bubba to run below the yellow line, but Bubba's going to eventually get himself in a position to clear here, and he'll take 6th, the 23 car. And here is Chase Elliott working on Tyler Reddick. Talked about this 9 car being hyper aggressive early, driving from the back into the top 10. Kyle Busch doing something similar. Kyle Busch was in the B main, so trying to make some progress here, and he's looking for the top 10 on Tyler Reddick right now. A good run for Busch once again, but he's putting himself behind the 8 ball with these starting positions, though he is still getting into the feature. And the 9 in front of him, working on Ryan Newman, continuing to go forward. As we look to Kevin Harvick, who is stuck in lapped traffic right now. The 37, see the 1 in front of him. He's got a lot to deal with here, so he seemingly seems to be cruising around this 4/10 foot mile racetrack. It's going to get busy because Truex is going to have clean track to try and close in, and that's exactly what he'll do. He cuts the gap about 7-8 tenths of a second in 3 or 4 laps, and all of a sudden the 19 is there, same straightaway as the 4 car. He can see him. So lap traffic is the opportunity that Truex needed, but smoke from up front. Anthony Alfredo with an issue. Alfredo's going to get down to pit road right away, can't ride around a second lap. That holds up Truex, who has to check up to let the 38 in. Truex going to lose about 2 seconds in that exchange. Alfredo, on the other hand, he would come down, the crew would look under the hood and determine this was a gearbox failure that was terminal. End of his day. Still, he was here. He had a strong week, so not the end of the world. Anthony Alfredo, though, out of the race. And Kevin Harvick inherits a big lead thanks to that failure. No yellow as he got to pit road safely, but absolutely very helpful for Kevin Harvick, who now has a comfortable 2-second lead. Truex still cutting into it, but not at near the same rate anymore. So he's caught lap traffic himself. Denny Hamlin here still stuck behind Ryan Blaney. Blaney now actually helping the 2 car rather than hurting him. Took Brad Keselowski a long time to get by, though. I mean, you can see on the scoreboard how much time Brad lost in that exchange. So I don't know how much Blaney's really helping him by keeping Hamlin behind, but either way, Matt Benedetto, Chase Elliott racing hard. DiBenedetto on the bottom, running that very low defensive line down the straightaway, basically saying, if you want to go by me, you'll have to move me or go around on the high side. I don't know if he should tempt Elliott, because Elliott has had a history of, just moving guys today. He's had no problem with it. He's already spun 2 cars, so maybe DiBenedetto is tempting the wrong guy. Elliott is on a mission with a fast race car, but poor track position to start, so I have no doubt if there was a caution, the 9 would be competitive to win this race, but where he is now is just so far back that he has to be that high urgency to try and make something happen. We're coming to 26 laps to go, and the 9 is still 7 seconds back of our leader. That's about a half a track here, so it's not really going to work, but props for the effort, and he's finally going to get underneath. We walked right alongside there with the 9 car, and just could not get underneath and complete the pass. He's finally going to do it here and move Chase Elliott into the top 5 after a pretty far back starting position, continuing to drive forward. His next on his list is Denny Hamlin. Hamlin working on Ryan Blaney, a lapped car. He's going to get that spot. And Elliott, looking on Blaney, really gives him a handful there. Makes it hard on the 12 car. But Blaney, quick there to save it. Looking at Austin Dillon here, who's worked his way up into 6th. The 3 car having a good day. He fell back a little bit, but back in the show. And once again, on a short track, no shock to see Dillon running well, but trying to keep up the momentum from South Boston last week. Bowman Gray last week, as is Chase Elliott. Kevin Harvick, all 3 of those guys had top 5s last week and looking to keep it going. Meanwhile, 3 wide there for a moment with Priest, Hamlin, and Blaney. Hamlin looking through the middle of 2 lapped cars, trying to make himself some space. It wouldn't last, though, as suddenly in clean track we have a 3 car pack for this 3rd position. Hamlin trying to get close on Brad Keselowski. Elliott would like to get them both. And it's going to be interesting to see what can happen here, as Elliott going to start looking on Denny Hamlin. Brad Keselowski there, happy to see in his mirror what's happening. He's going to be maybe able to drive away, but no. He slides up in the center of the corner, and all of a sudden it's 3 wide. Contact between the 11 and 9. And right together here, this 3 wide battle. Elliott's going to get through on the bottom, but perhaps a bullet dodge there with the contact. That could have been a lot worse, turning the 9 up the track. And now Chase Elliott working the bottom, but not good enough. Hamlin going to turn down and make the move for third. Denny Hamlin gonna try and get clear of the 9 here. He has lap traffic in front of him to contest with, and that's gonna allow Elliott to try and close. They're gonna split Ricky Stenhouse down the middle. Aggressive from Denny Hamlin, trying to make that happen. Elliott giving up nothing on the high side, but it's going to be too much. Denny Hamlin going to get through and get himself clear here, it looks like. Not quite yet, but yes, he will clear off the corner. Denny Hamlin taking that spot, gonna look to put Chris Buescher between himself and the 9 over here in 1 and 2. Not able to do it yet. Elliott charging back on the high side. It's not over quite yet, but Elliott cannot get to the bottom. He has the 47 beneath him. Denny Hamlin gonna use the 17 as a pick, and he will move to third with only 5 laps to go. That will probably be the end of that battle. Hamlin with a little bit of a margin, a little bit of safety now. And speaking of safety, how about Kevin Harvick? 3 second. It's about a straightaway lead on second place Martin Truex Jr. Coming to 4 laps to go here, and Harvick has this race in hand. Losing a little bit of time with lap traffic here. Kind of struggling with Reed Sorensen, but no big deal anyway. He has such a big lead. Coming to the white flag here, dispatching that 77 car, and Kevin Harvick working 1 and 2, just smooth and doing nothing special here. His car has been absolutely awesome all week. I think he's led all but 3 or 4 laps that he's been on the racetrack. And Kevin Harvick will take the checkered flag here at south of Boston. After a good week last week, an even better week this time. And Harvick will move to the points lead and top a couple of stats. 103 laps led, the most of any driver, and the same for top 5s. One of only 3 drivers, that being Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, and himself, to have 2 top 5s after 2 weeks. Kevin Harvick up at the top of the board. Austin Dillon continuing to have a great points run so far, as is Chase Elliott. Those are the guys that, so far seem to be in the favorites. And then a couple underdogs here. Reed Sorensen, 12th place in points after making both features and being sort of overachieving his equipment. Cody Ware in 19th is no slouch either. Quite impressive stuff. Overachieving is what you would call that. Then down here, there are a few guys that would definitely want something more. Alex Bowman, a wreck in this feature, missed the last one. William Byron, struggling. And then Larson and Jones on the 4th page, yet to score a point. Jones, understandable, that equipment is a question mark, but Larson and Hendrick equipment absolutely not succeeding so far on the home tracks. But that will be it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next week. Have a good one.